can't hear you, can you hear me? I'm not sure, could danger get me what I need? Cause you can't see exactly, and I'm stuck, only stand strong. I'm vortexing hot and cold to keep the storm alive. They wanna keep me down with the hate, balance off, premeditate, I levitate above the cattle drops, with one cattle mask off. I'm looking at it in the place, screaming on my inner J, Mr. Winner when a nigga drop bombs, y'all trying to cop Gotham. You're not sure what you heard, reverb, hot slums, get it, I'm in my zone, aiming for the top gun, till my Tom Cruise whip got 2 blunts. I wasn't in the shop. That's exactly what I thought. Fucking, it's time again. My posture isn't that bad, by the way. But like, I feel like I'm not in the frame at all if I have good posture. So I'm just gonna have bad posture for this whole video, and that's what we're gonna do. It's that time. February album writing month, baby. You already know what it is if you've been around here for a while. This is one of the things I've been doing on YouTube. Pretty consistently like if you looked at my YouTube channel, if you watch my YouTube channel at any point in time regularly, it was probably for this content. I still remember when I wrote At the Edges back in like 2016, I want to say, and I recorded the songwriting journal and just had so much fun doing that. And the whole goal is to write 14 songs in the 28 days of February. It's self-explanatory. That's it. You have 28 days. The goal is to write an album. Consisting of 14 songs. That's the number they said because 14 times 2 is
21. You stupid.
This year's a leap year, so we have 30 days actually, but I'm not going to write 15 songs because that just sounds more challenging, and I'm not trying to deal with that at all. And I'm going to be taking FAWM a little differently, right? Because I think the big thing with FAWM is the approach. If you looked at my approaches in the past, I technically have finished the album, though in 2016, the first time I did it, the album was finished, but like it was just not a great album. But that was really the first album I've ever finished, period. So 2018, I did not finish the album. I don't remember how many songs I wrote. There was a good number of them. The songs were a little bit better. Some of the demos were of a little bit higher quality, I would say, but it still was nothing near a finished product. My goal this year for 2020 is to actually get all 14 songs on the album. So there's no reason I should not be able to record and produce everything. I have a microphone as well as another microphone. So my goal is to truly write all 14 songs and record them and master them. Not to the highest quality of a studio album. It's not going to be a studio mastered quality album. But it is going to be mastered. I want to master it more than anything I've ever mastered before. And that being said, mastering is something that I know about only instinctively, right? And I don't really master a lot. I'm sure you can tell in some of the trash that I put out, like this has no balance to it, whatever. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. And I'm sure there's some things I already know I can do, like applying filters and compressors and channel strips just to the entire base of the song instead of just like one audio sequence or one program. But I'm still going to have to do more research on mastering. I'm sure you guys don't give a fuck about that. If you cared about mastering, you'd be doing your own research on mastering. Point is, I'm going to master the whole album, finish the whole album, and this is going to be something. This is going to be something huge for me. And this is going to tie into the whole thing that 2020 has been about for me and that I've been talking about a lot, and that fighting games and other things have been helping me with and struggling with, is just planning and reaching goals and accomplishing things and being thorough in life, right? I think it's very important to have big goals. I think it's important to have big goals and things that you could strive for that you may never achieve, because it is possible that you achieve them, and you will only be a human sheep forever if you believe that you can't achieve something. You feel me? So the thing though that is hard for me personally, because I'm kind of the two polar ends, because while having big goals is very important, it is important not to get too lost in those big goals, which is what I often do. So I often suffer from two sides of the extremes of this big goal thing that's going on in my brain. So if I set a really big goal, right, get a determination and a perseverance that I might not have if I have a small goal. However, one thing that we were talking about with fighting games, especially, is when you have too big of a goal, then it can be very easy to not accomplish that and then come down on yourself. If your goal's too big, that's what happens. So if my goal in Unist, for example, after me and Lilliputian played those matches, I still will do another Eunice video for you. I promise. More Eunice content is coming. But I wanted to do another online multiplayer session immediately, and I just hopped into ranked. But I had no goal except for I want to win matches in ranked. And that's too broad of a goal. Core A Gaming did a whole video on this for fighting games specifically, so I'll link that in the description. But in general, having small goals is something that I'm bad at, that is very good at for you. So if my goal is to land a combo with a super at the end, then that's a lot better than my goal to win a game, because it's more achievable that I can land that combo with the super at the end than maybe win the whole fight at the time. You know, it's not impossible for me to write, record, and finish an album. In fact, I did it the first time that I did FAWM. However, this is the building upon of the smaller goals for me. If you see the whole, what I'm working towards with the narrative I just set up is in 2016, Wolf Cry, while an album, was not great. It was more an album of demos than an album of finished songs, if you feel me. In 2018, while the songs individually may have felt a little bit closer to finished songs, I did not finish enough of them to create an album, and they still weren't fully mastered finished songs. So here we are in 2020, time to put all that work together and achieve, baby. You feel me? We put two smaller goals together and pop something big. Now that I know how to write enough songs and I know how to individually master them all, I can create something a little bigger. And the other thing that I think is super awesome and important about FAWM, that's difficult and important for creators especially, because the first time you write an album, I've written a couple albums and I have not produced very many of them. You have to sit down and know how to write the album. There's been times even now, after I've done my first and second album and written things like that, that I sit and I think to myself about a concept or a group of concepts that I would like to create and push forward. But because my goal is too large of just creating an album, it's never made, you know. FAWM already tightens that goal a little bit because it gives you create an album in this amount of days, but within that, now that you have a time limit as well, it only really makes it harder than easier. So you have to say, I'm going to write a song today. For example, today's the 3rd for me. It should be uploading. I swear to God, if I don't upload this video today. So I know I need to finish that second song today and really even do more work on the first one. The first song that I wrote in FAWM was actually the intro to this video. Just a nice little demo for you guys. I probably should have said that first. But so I know today I have 2 songs. I need to clean those up, crisp those up. By tomorrow, the 4th, I need to have 3 songs completely done. You know, completely done, ready to just be re-recorded and mastered in the second half of the month. My goal right now is by the 15th to have all of the songs at least written. That way I can get into my programming, my engineering, add instruments, rewrite parts, re-record parts, whatever I need to do in the second half of the month to put everything together. People often extend February album route. People often expend February album writing month far past February. Extend. I don't know why I can't say that word. But that's something I've never done. I think it's good, right? Because the point of February album writing month might not necessarily be to finish the album, but to get you writing, you know? So if you start writing now, you're right for the rest of the year. And also, that beautifully lines up with the thing I'm trying to do with New Year's resolutions in general. If last month's resolutions were to get my YouTube more in line, and let's see, I wrote them down, and also do that morning routine, right? Which I had been keeping up with, then this month when I do February album writing month, that will help me to continue writing songs into the rest of the year, I hope, so that's a skill that I don't lose and I continue to develop constantly. I'm also going to play more Duolingo this month. That's what I wrote down. Having small goals and consuming them is important, but having big goals is very important so you don't ever lose sight of what you're working for, you know. I think it's just as easy to become depressed because you're down on yourself for not reaching a big enough goal as it is to become depressed because you're down on yourself for accomplishing too small of goals. You feel me? You know, if I feel like I'm not accomplishing much because I'm not doing big things, I'm going to feel like I'm not accomplishing much in the same way that if I'm not reaching my goal. So it's important to combine the two, you feel me? So you can cancel all of those emotions out and be successful. If you have a large goal to reach to, you can achieve something so much greater than yourself, something that you thought that was beyond you. But if you have those small bites that you can hit in between, then that's a way to get there without having to ever feel crushed or defeated by any of the little losses that may come your way, because you know that there's a way to make another little win to accomplish your way towards the big win, it's less, because you really won't even have those little losses. It's just failing to that big win, I feel like, is what hits people the most in the chest. And if you're getting little losses instead of always looking at that big failure, then it's a lot easier to achieve. And that's just something about mental state in general. The world reflects how you feel about it. And again, so much harder to actually do and think than to just say. But it's important to break past all of those barriers and all of that. So February album writing month starts now. Want to do some more songwriting demos like I've done in the past, as I said. Mostly what I plan to do is put out the demos as I write the songs. So you'll see demos come out in the first half of the month. Not every song will get a demo, but you'll see demos come out in the first half of the month. And then in the second half of the month, you'll probably see more of those songwriting journals come out, where I will record the process of me writing that demo and then record the process of me refining that demo and put that all into one songwriting video itself. And you'll see demos come out. And then when that album's dropping, hopefully I have another little announcement video for you. One last thing I want to talk about was the style of this, because stylistically the way I've written music has changed a lot. Just personally, I've jumped around the way I've written music always. I started writing music exclusively with film and game in mind, and while that's still, I think, my main end goal, that's something that I have strayed away from several times. I've written indie music, I've written punk rock music, I've written rap music, and this album is meant to be sort of a culmination of the styles that I found myself accruing to. But more than anything, a return to punk rock for me, because this is a genre, indie, punk rock, alt rock, whatever you really want to call it. But this is a genre that I have not been in touch with recently. My urban roots are very important to me, obviously. And hip-hop is very important to me, and hip-hop is something that I felt like for a long time in my life I was not connected enough with. So recently, the connections that I've reforged with hip-hop haven't necessarily destroyed the connections I forged with punk rock, but I haven't been there as often, you feel me? So I'm trying to re-put some of that alternative, re-put some of that punk into this music, but definitely not wrap the same package up the same way. It's just the way bars hit, man. Like, I really am trying to think of another word for it besides just saying bars. I'm trying to make people who don't rap understand what I say, what I mean when I say bars. But it's just the way words and lines can come together. Because even in a regular song, you can have two lines that mean something different once they're put next to each other. But I think in rap, it's just how careful you can do that and how carefully you can rearrange your words, even to the littlest degree. So I've been rambling a little bit, just trying to make sure I can pad the video out to at least 10 minutes. Not that it matters. I'm not getting monetized, but that's another little goal of mine, make sure I can make all these videos a certain length. That way I'm putting a certain amount of effort into each one. But like I said, fucking rambling. We're going to get out of here. I am going to go play some fucking Unist. Grind some combos. And write some songs. I'm going to write some songs too. Fucking A. Well, first I'm going to get this video processed, but